UFC 317 Topuria vs Oliveira is happening this weekend. Let's get straight into the prediction video, as I am excited for this. Well, I'm excited for the main event. Let's get into it. Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira, right? It should be Arman Tsarukyan. Let's be real. It should be Arman Tsarukyan. Oliveira's done fuck all other than beat Michael Chandler and almost lose to him in the 5th round. I don't like shitting on Oliveira, but this is just the truth. Yeah, you shouldn't be fighting for a belt. You should be fighting like Gaethje or fucking Paddy or something, while Arman should be fighting for a belt. But yeah, let's get straight into the breakdown. I am very scared for Topuria, as he's risking everything for this fight. Like, he's said, fuck it, Volk, Lopez, Evloev, you fight for my belt, I'm going to move up, I can't make this weight no more. Which I don't believe. I've always thought he was pretty small. Well, not small, like, he's like average featherweight sized guy, right? But I never thought he would be ever good. Like, not good, but like, I don't think he'd ever be a lightweight sized human. Like, he's coming up a division where he's really small. Will his power carry over? Will his skills carry over? Will the weight cut even be good? You know? And like, I am recording this on the 20th, literally the day before the Jamal Hill Roundtree fight. So there could be stuff in fight week where like he looks massive or something, so we haven't actually seen what he looks like. But people are like, oh, he looks massive coming into this fight. I don't think so. I think he looks normal. I think he is small for the division. But that being said, if he does come up to the division, I'm choosing Ilia Topuria. Yeah? If he comes back normal, you know what I mean? Like, still has his KO power, his skills, everything else, probably improved maybe, you know. I think Ilia's going to get it done. And I'll tell you why I think Ilia's going to get it done. Oliveira gets hit way too fucking much. But there is a path to victory for Ilia, Charles even. And I'll get into that in a second. Like, for Topuria, I think it's pretty obvious. It's literally just target the body, keep targeting the body, a few calf kicks. Obviously, don't wing them like he did against Volkanovski, because obviously we know Charles Oliveira has really good calf kick defense shown in the Gaethje fight. So you got to like set them up. You can't just fucking wing them, or you're going to get countered. But I do think this is more of a competitive fight than people think. I really do think this is more of a competitive fight. Like, I've got here for Oliveira, and I was edging. I was really close to choosing Oliveira to win this, but it's like Oliveira's chinny. He's been rocked in practically every fight he's been in, you know. And then I watched the Islam Makhachev fight where he was getting fucking popped in the head, and I was like, Ilia can do this. Ilia can do this, even if he doesn't have the power. I think this is like, I'm not going to say the easier matchup, but in the top 5, other than Gaethje, I think this is one of the easier matchups for Ilia. I think his hardest matchup is obviously Arman Tsarukyan. I don't think Islam's ever coming back down to 155. He obviously fucked off before he could get any hard matchup. You know, very ironic. Very ironic. But yeah, I'm going to go with Ilia Topuria. And I am scared for Charles. I do like Charles, even though I was shitting on him earlier. Like, he doesn't deserve the title shot. But it's like, I am scared for Charles. But there is a way to victory, which, because I literally have this 51% all of Topuria, and then I have a 49% Oliveira. It's that fucking close. I don't have it like Oliveira. Ilia's going to get in there, he's going to fucking do what he wants and knock him out. I'm going to choose him by TKO in the 2nd round, but I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be a very competitive 1st round, a very competitive 2nd round, and then he's going to drop him, ground and pound him. But what I can see from Charles is the Ian Garry game plan. Which the game plan for Ian Garry against Carlos Prates was really fucking smart, but very fucking boring. Get him out of the Oliveira camp. He's going to fucking soy the fuckers up. He's going to make them all boring, no risk taking, you know. I know it's against Oliveira, but, you know, like, we want, like, exciting fights. You know, Oliveira doesn't get knocked out. It's an absolute fucking war. But, you know, what can we do? What can we do? But yeah, I think the game plan for like a Charles Oliveira would be kick the arms, keep them blocking. We saw Volks kind of use his game plan. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, he was kicking his arms and keeping him blocking. But Ilya fucking counters really well and cuts off the cage really well too. Which I do think this fucking fight is all about who is on the front foot. Whoever's on the front foot is going to win. That's one thing I need to say. Whoever is on the front foot and pressuring and attacking their opponent is who's going to win. That is just a fact. But I do think for Oliveira, he can go on the back foot, because if we're saying when Topuria's in the pocket, clinch. He has that Muay Thai clinch, and because he's so small, he's 5'7". Oliveira is not 5'10". If Makhachev is 5'10", then Oliveira is nowhere near 5'10". You know, he towered over him at their face-off. So yeah, he can clinch, get the knees going. Say if he's mid-rolling, you know how he does that, like literally just roll the right hand. He drops his level, knee up the centre. He can get that done straight away. But like, and obviously the head kicks are there, you know, but like, I don't even think they're there. I don't think that's a thing. And also, outside calf kick is another thing I want to highlight here. He's never defended an outside calf kick in his career, but like, you got to remember the reason why people don't go for calf kicks on Topuria is because he can counter with his right hand. I'm gonna go with Topuria if everything goes well. If you'll see a common thing on this prediction video, going off the last couple of weeks of predictions where nothing has been normal whatsoever, nothing at all. Usman should have lost last weekend, didn't happen. A couple of weeks before that, there was some other bullshit, and then some more of a bullshit. I don't have them on my fucking top of my head, but yeah, I'm choosing Topuria. All logic is not telling me Topuria, to be honest. It's telling me Topuria even. But yeah, anyway, we're going to get into the co-main event, because I've watched all of these guys' fights, and I cannot find their original fight, which this is Kai Kara-France and Pantoja. I cannot find Pantoja and Kai Kara-France's very first fight together. It is wild. I've looked for fucking everywhere for this fight. It doesn't exist. I swear. But anyway, Pantoja is a finisher, and you'd think that Kai Kara-France would have more finishes in the UFC. Do you want to know how many finishes in UFC Kai Kara-France has? He has 3. He's supposed to be this deadly finisher, and I do think his power is fucking overrated. Like, he has knocked out Steve Erceg. Steve Erceg looks chinny. He just looks chinny. You know when you look at someone and you go, he's chinny? That's Steve Erceg. You know, and realistically looking back at it, we all should have chose Kai Kara-France to be him. But yeah, we don't get what we want, you know, robberies, you know. Realistically, Kai Kara-France is the real champion. Pantoja lost to Erceg lost to Kai Kara-France. Realistically, Kai Kara-France is the champion right now. But yeah, Pantoja has 8 finishes in the UFC. 2 knockouts, I think 6 submissions. He is a submission threat too. Kai Kara-France has been submitted a couple times in his career, you know, but it is a hard fight. But after watching his actual fight, and realistically, Pantoja was 35, by the way. Just saying, realistically he should lose. But Alexander Volkanovski didn't lose, and made me look like an absolute mug. Made me look like an absolute fucking idiot. So I'm going to go with Pantoja, and the more I looked at the fights, Kai Kara-France gives away so much space in the octagon. He almost runs across the cage, fakes a bit, lands a shot, and he's instantly on back foot. The minute they hit him once, he's on the back foot. And people forget that Pantoja is also a power puncher. He's like, if Pantoja did not have power, he wouldn't have the belt, because there was a massive physicality advantage between him and Moreno in that fight. And Pantoja did win. It was a very close fight, but you could see the physical advantages for Pantoja. And as well as that, can we just talk about this for a second? Yes, Kai Kara-France has great takedown defense, but is it? because he gives so much space on the cage. It's like Jose Aldo. He has great takedown defense, but does he? Because he doesn't get off the fence. He doesn't get off the fence. He sort of lays there and just expects the ref to do something, which realistically the ref should be doing something, but he doesn't. And that's in a neutral position, by the way. That is a neutral position on the fence. No activity going on. It's a neutral position. And again, yeah, I put my notes here. Gives up time on the fence. Do you really think that Pantoja is not going to slug out this fight like he has in a couple of his other fights? He will snooze his fights if he wants to. Yeah, and it's like Albazi's pretty similar to Pantoja. He is really similar. Really similar, only that he's definitely on steroids, and I don't care what anyone says. You can literally count the fucking steroid marks all over his back. You can literally go do a dot-to-dot puzzle. But yeah, all the injection marks. Right? Obviously, Kai Kara-Francie's got his great scrambles, but it's like, yeah, like I could definitely see a Pantoja rear naked choke here. But what I'm saying is that if you cannot finish Royval with a rear naked, and who he already finished with a rear naked, I think, and then Moreno, who he already finished before then, I don't think he's going to finish Kai Kara-France, but I could definitely see that. I'm definitely putting that out in the air, so like when this fight happens and he gets submitted via fucking rear naked choke, I call that shit. Just saying, I call that shit. He had his back taken for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Just saying. Yeah, and as well, bad defense. People talk about Pantoja's bad defense. Have you seen Kai Kara-France's fights? He gets hit so easily. It's like he just wants to get hit. It's like it's a part of his game. And you can see the difference, because when he gets hit, he does react. And it's against Pantoja, who does hit really fucking hard. You know, I could definitely see this going the right way. And yeah, he looked refurbished against Usyk, I will say that. He looked he looked so much cleaner. So we didn't see much of that fight to be like, yeah, this guy's next. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't see much of that. So we literally just saw him knock out Steve Usyk, and Steve Usyk was starting to piece him up too. I'm saying that much. So I'm going with Pantoja, a very close decision, but I'm going with Pantoja because Pantoja is a fucking animal. Realistically, he should lose his fight because he's 35, but logic doesn't make no sense, and we'll get into that when we get into some other fights early on the card. Well, the next fight, not the next fight, the one after that. Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. Now, where's my notes for this fight? I've written quite a bit for this. Yeah, right. So I rewatched Royval fight against that fucking Chinese fella. What's his name? Tai Shuashira. Oh, fucking hell. The Chinese guy with all the submissions, and he has a weird voice. A bit like myself. I'm 19 and I sound like a fucking 10-year-old. But yeah. Royval is legitimately a great fighter, and I think he could give Pantoja problems in the future. Van is a fucking animal, though. Van is an animal. I am going to go with Royval, and I'll tell you why. Joshua Van, I know he's great. I love him. I want him to become the champion in this division. But I'd be lying if I said this isn't such a hard fight for for Joshua Van. I saw his Charles Johnson fight early this morning. I watched it, and obviously I get messages. Who's this? Right? Joshua Van legitimately, in that fight, looked like he was struggling life and day in that fight. He was struggling, right? Royval is pretty similar to Charles Johnson, but much more technical, much better grappling. You know, I know Joshua Van's improved since then, but then I've got to think about the double weight cut. He fought on the last pay-per-view, 316, which was like only 2 weeks ago. Which I think by the time the fight would be 3 weeks ago. So he's got into a training camp where he took some shots, but he pretty much dominated. What's his name? Bruno Silva, Bruno Lopez, was it? Bruno Silva, I can't remember. The guy that Cap. Oh, yeah, and Cap was supposed to fight Royval. So Royval's on a full training camp here, and Cap once again shit the bed. I love Manel Cap, but you're really starting to lose a fucking fan here. You're really starting to lose a fan. But yeah, I'm choosing Royval. I love Joshua Van. I think he could catch him. I want Joshua Van to win this. Royval looks really good. Ever since that fucking Pantoja loss, he looks like he's been improving. I think he's only fought twice, to be fair. So you know what I mean. But he looks like he's improved a lot since then. Obviously, he had the slug one against the slugfest against fucking Brandon Moreno, which you can say what you want about that. That was Moshe Moreno. But Royval's good. And I'm choosing Royval to get this done via decision. A very close decision. A razor close decision. Yeah. Really fucking close. And we're moving on to the next fight, which, you know when I said I'm letting go of all logic? This is the fight I mean. Right, where's my notes for this fight? Sorry. This always takes the piss. Yeah, nice one. Where's my notes for this fight? So it's like Beneil Dariush. If he comes back any similar to the one like Gamrot, the Gamrot fight. If he comes back any closer to that Gamrot fight, he wins. He is winning. If he comes back refurbished, healed, good mentally, not scared because he's been knocked out twice in a row. And this is something like when it very first happened on 311, I sort of just like that was my first video, so I was sort of just like kind of side of everyone else, you know what I mean? Sort of like don't have the unpopular take until I got to Jamal Hill and chose Jamal Hill, and that was kind of a retarded take, really looking back at it. But Beneil Dariush, as he comes back any similar to how he fought in the Gamrot fight, he probably wins. And I don't think that's even a wild take. Like, he has great takedown defense. He's powerful, and Moicano's chinny. He's very chinny. He's powerful. He has great takedown defense. I don't see Moicano taking him down. And if he does, Dariush is just gonna fucking Grammy roll out of it or something. Like, I rate Gamrot so fucking highly, and I know I'm sort of taking away. I'll get onto his next two fights. I am kind of taken away from his last two knockouts. But we know logic doesn't matter in MMA. Again, Volkanovski should have got knocked out by Lopez. Didn't happen. Usman should have lost to Buckley. Didn't happen. Buckley shot the bed. But recently there's just been this sort of like unlogical old guys winning. The Iranian, I've just seen that. The Iranian in Beneil Dariush is probably going to win. He's probably going to win. And by the way, if you are like actually rooting for Iran to win this war, just not like note, you are pretty fucking stupid. I don't take sides. I think everyone in the Middle East in that little war are all in the wrong in their own little ways. But fuck me, the amount of people who think that like Iran is legitimately like is trying to fight for Palestine is retarded. It's not happening. They're not fighting for Palestine. They're fighting for themselves because they got embarrassed by Israel when Israel KO'd all their military partners. But let's not get political because I might start my own separate YouTube channel for political takes, because trust me, I've got a lot of them that offend a lot of people, but like they're just facts. But I've got Beneil Dariush beating Moicano, and you know what? As much as I think Moicano didn't drop Islam Makhachev. I know I always had that take. I was that guy in the pub, you know. I don't go to the pub, but you know, I was that guy in the pub who was like, he dropped Islam Makhachev shit. He didn't drop Islam Makhachev. And you know what? He kind of shit the bed. I thought he would have done him way better than that. Like, I mean, at least get to the second round, you know. But I get it. Islam's really fucking good grappler, and like we never thought Moicano would get close to a belt, but yeah, I'm choosing Beneil Dariush to get this done. And I like Beneil Dariush. People call this guy boring. You don't know the sport if you call this guy boring. What I am scared of is because in the Arman Sarukian fight, he was very hesitant, and you could tell right off the bat. In the Oliveira fight, he was very hesitant right off the bat. And he wasn't even... He was coming off a win. He was expected to win. I chose him to win. I was like, get ready for the Tony Ferguson downfall of Charles Oliveira. And he won. and he was on that tear. But Beneil Dariush, I've got him winning. After rewatching a couple of fights, I was like, yeah, I think if Beneil comes back even 50% of himself, I think he wins this fight. Right. On to the next fight. Oh, Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. I know Peyton Talbot has been looking for a fight. Where the fuck are my notes for this one? Did I even make notes for this one? No, I didn't make any notes for this one. Of course I didn't. But I'll go off what I've learned. Like, Felipe Lima, he's pretty good everywhere. He's kind of getting fed to the rules, Peyton Talbot. They must be looking at him. And, like, this guy is a fucking society destroyer. So we're going to go with our guy, Felipe Lima, to get him out the sport. And I think he's going to lose again, Peyton Talbot. Unlike Peyton Talbot, who's just a really cool, flashy striker, who I kind of want to see him get in the top 15 because I can have someone to hate on in the division other than Marab. But Felipe Lima is that fucking guy in the division. Felipe Lima's winning this fight. I think he is winning this fight. I'm not going to say KO or submission or anything, but what I am going to say is decision. Obviously, he couldn't submit, what was that guy, Mike? Was it Mike? No, it wasn't Mike Mallet. Obviously, it wasn't Mike Mallet. It's a bantamweight fight. What was his name? I can't remember his name exactly, but that fucking guy, you went to decision with that guy. If you can't finish that guy, you won't finish Peyton Talbot, is what I'm thinking. Peyton Talbot's good, man. He's a really good striker, and he let everyone down. Well, not everyone, because I wanted him to lose, but, like, he let everyone other than me down. You know what I mean? Because I wanted him to lose, because I fucking hate this guy. He's a fucking cringe. I've seen his Instagram story. He's a fucking cringy guy. You know, we normal people grow out with that, like, cringy version of ourselves when we're about, like, year 8, you know what I mean? Peyton Talbot's still in it. He's going at it, so, you know, you can only respect it, you know. He wants to be hated, so, yeah. But I've got Felipe Lima decision. And you know what? Peyton Talbot didn't do as bad as we all thought against Barcelos. Obviously he's been training sport fucking 10 years. Can't defend a fucking takedown. The absolute disappointment. I don't know why I'm calling him disappointing. I wanted him to lose. I'm going to keep on saying that. But he won the second round, in my opinion. I think it was the second round where he sort of popped him with shots, and that was the most damaging because Barcelos was kind of just laying on him and not doing much with the position. But Peyton didn't do as bad as we all thought. But Felipe is just that fucking guy. He submitted, what's his name? Naimov, who's fighting literally under 24 hours right now. I think he gets it done, you know. I think he gets it done. I really do think he gets it done. Felipe Lima is that fucking guy in the division. He's that fucking guy in the division, right? And I think we're going to see a lot from him. But yeah, to Mohamed Naimov, he's a good fucking guy. And I am kind of regretting my choice in choosing Bogdan Grant to beat him. But Bogdan Grant is also that guy, and he's going to beat Naimov too tomorrow. And Felipe is going to beat fucking Peyton Talbot. Watch. Anyway, on to the prelims. This is a very small card. I forgot about that. How is Tracy Cortez on a fucking UFC? Why have I went to his fight page? But we're on to Gregory Rodriguez and Jack Hermansson. I'm going to be honest. I think we're going to see a typical Jack Hermansson performance. Why is this fucking lagging? There we go. Jack Hermansson, we're going to see a typical Jack Hermansson, Joe Pyfer performance right here. We're going to see one, I swear. Gregory Rodriguez, I chose Jared Cannonier to beat him. I was wrong in my decision until Jared got the finish. So, yeah. But Gregory Rodriguez is that guy in the division. He's a scary fucking guy. He's a scary guy. I'd love to fight him. Yeah. Jack Hermansson, I think he's going to take all the damage in the first two. It's a 3-rounder, actually. Oh. Right. 3-rounder suits Gregory Rodriguez much, you know. It does suit him. It does suit him quite a bit. Ooh, I'm debating on it now. I might go with him. I might go with Rodriguez, actually, here. But then he kind of quit. He kind of quit against Cannonier too, so it's like, I'm going Jack Amans. I'm sticking with it. I think he's going to just be the punching bag for a round, and he's going to win the last two. It's going to be a very close, razor close fight. I think he's guaranteed to win the third round. Second round, who the fuck knows? That's the round it's going to depend on. But I can really see Gregory getting this one done. They're putting him in a 3-rounder too, so it isn't kind of scuffed for him. But yeah, I've got Gregory I've got Jack Manson winning this one. Oh, for fuck's sake! Why can't can this be the first fight of the card so I can like do other stuff before watching the card? I've got this bitch winning because Tracy Cortez is not taking her career seriously at all. Yeah, she's literally just a model pretty much in the sport and just no. Right. And I need to go on to Topology now because this fight isn't actually happening. Justin Tafa's out. So, yes! What an ad! Get off my fucking screen. Right. So we've predicted all these, Terence McKinney versus Borshev. I ain't pronouncing that. I'm going to go with Borshev. I think Terence McKinney's pretty shit and chinny. I think Borshev's going to get it done. I'm going to make these ones quick because I want to get some food because I'm about to fucking die. In the next fight, we've got Hydra Emil against Jose Delgado. Jose Delgado is really fucking good. Jose Delgado, don't sleep on Jose Delgado. He can win here. But Hydra Emil, he's that guy of the division. And I keep saying it for some certain guys in the division, but he is that fucking guy. And I think Hydra Emil's getting it done. Hydra Emil, he's 11-0. Jose Delgado, he hasn't lost in quite a while, but I think Hydra Emil is just you can see the level difference when you watch their fights, to put it that way. Nico Price versus Jacob Smith, and I'm going with Jacob Smith. I think, is he the undefeated guy or is it this guy? I don't know between these two. Fuck it. We'll go off records, because that always works, doesn't it? Okay, he's actually been in the UFC. He beat Preston Parsons. That's like average, pretty average. Right. We'll go back one. And then we'll go off this guy's record, Nico Price. Yeah, we're going with Jacob Smith. Yeah, I'm going with Jacob Smith. Simple as that. Where the fuck are we at? Why is everything just like lagged out? And Deniz versus Hines. Now, he's a regional guy. And this guy is just some bum. Even though he's only got one loss in UFC. Like, if you look, will it be quick? If you look, he's only lost to Martian Topuria and it was a doctor stoppage. And for some reason, it won't load on a fight pass if I can't, like, memorise the fight. But I think I remember Martian Topuria getting a takedown in there. And I've looked on this guy's record. Where is it? I've not watched the guy fight. I'm being dead ass. You can call me a casual all you fucking like. But, like, it's like I'm not watching LFA fights. I watch Cage Warriors and UFC and KSW. They're the only ones I give a fuck about because they're the best ones. And I just see like high kick KO, tram triangle try KO, and all this type of stuff. Finish. Unanimous decision. Finish. Like, So I'm gonna go with this guy because his record looks very good. But yeah, well, let's get back to on the UFC website because Topology is a bit low quality. But yeah, fuck Junior Taff for trying to get on a main event. But yeah, this card's pretty average. It's like it's good. It is good, but it's like if it didn't have this fight on it, people would not be glazing this card. And I see a lot of people disagreeing, saying it is a shit card. I'm like, it's not shit. It's all right. Like these two fights are class 3, 4. The card's good. All right, the card's good, but we expect better for International Fight Week. But comment your predictions of the event. I'm really interested if you think Charles Oliveira could beat Topuria. Like the video and subscribe.